Well, when it comes to getting fired, even celebrities aren't immune to a dramatic dismissal. Ryan Gosling was let go from The Lovely Bones because he gained too much weight. Jenny Slate only lasted one season on Saturday Night Live after accidentally swearing live on air, while Megan Fox was terminated from the Transformers franchise when she trash-talked the movie's director in an interview.
Now, away from Hollywood, it's safe to say most employees at least try to remain professional. But did you know there's a long list of workplace breaches that could send you packing prematurely? From how you dress to oversharing on social media. Today, we're revealing the surprising things you never knew could cost you your job. Lawyer
and legal analyst Michael Kuzilny joins us with more. Hi, Michael. Employees can be in the firing line for a variety of reasons. Let's walk through some of the more quirky rules, starting with how you dress.
Well, that's right. You can actually get the sack for not dressing appropriately. Imagine, for example, if you had a part-time job as a work in a bar where lots of ladies go, and they told you to wear a jockstrap and a tie, leather tie, and if you refuse to follow that policy, you can get the sack for that. So some places you've got to dress provocatively. And others, for example, the ATO changed their policy a few years ago, saying that the ladies can't dress too provocatively because it doesn't fit with their public image. So whatever dress code is appropriate to that type of employment.
So can we just go back to me in a leather thong and a tie here at this job? You mean or
no,
job?
Your moonlighting job.
Oh, the other job, that's okay.
Scenario. If that was a requirement of the
job, according to the ATO guidelines.
And under no circumstances would we...
Well, the ATO is another story, but if that place advertised and said, look, there's lots of hens nights here, and we want you to stand at the door and you know, look like a manpower man to meet these ladies, and you turn up in a suit, they'd say, listen, we've warned you a few times, and then they could dismiss you from that job.
I think Kylie's thinking, well, that business would go broke pretty quickly with me standing out the front. Now, sharing too much on social media. This is a big trap for so many people.
Indeed.
It can get you in hot water real quick and in a whole lot of trouble. But where do we draw the line?
Well, I think the line is blurred these days because there's lots and lots of cases where people have been disgruntled and they're saying bad things about a former employer. A recent case, a student was saying very, very bad things about a former school teacher. A court awarded that school teacher $105,000 in damages. So, as we know from the defamation laws, the courts are getting much tougher on that. So, a lot of workplaces have policies about, they have social media policies, they have policies for all sorts of things, but if we breach those and your employer finds out, there's grounds for instant dismissal.
OK, what about bad-mouthing your boss or colleagues, maybe even just to your mates over dinner? How about that? As opposed to being on social media? Well,
that's right, Kylie. That sort of falls back into the social media work laws. If that third person, for example, tells the boss, and that's once again a breach of a workplace policy, probably not on first occasion that they would get rid of you, but if there's multiple occasions, you know, it forms part of that policy of their work, and that could warrant a dismissal.
Being drunk at work apparently is also a no-no. Who knew? But what about Friday drinks? What about a social gathering with the team, either in the office space or out at a restaurant somehow? There's also some room to make mistakes here, right? To blurred lines here.
Yeah, both employee and employee must be very, very careful, and we've seen this over the years at Christmas functions. Certainly a ground for dismissal and immediate sack, and we've seen it. But what the...
For being drunk?
Being intoxicated.
Right, OK.
Yeah, because a lot of workplaces have drug and alcohol policies. So they say, look, we're quite strict on this. Do not get intoxicated if you associate with this firm. There's always exceptions, though, Kylie. At a recent case at the Opera House, there was a female project manager who got very, very intoxicated at a work party. She then made some sexual remarks towards people and all sorts of grabbing and stuff. She got dismissed for being drunk, but she went to the Fair Work Commission, and they found that it was an isolated incident. She had a great work record, and they balanced all that, so they reinstated her into her job.
OK.
So they do look at... the entire
The whole,
picture.
whole
thing.
picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about dating the boss or dating a co-worker? Lots of companies have very clear policy around this.
Well, a lot of people meet at work because we spend more time at work than we do at home sometimes, and there's no problems with dating somebody, even getting married to somebody. We see it with police people, we see it in the army, and we see it in networks like this. However, if it's not consensual and there's some type of coercion where it might be brought up that if you don't date me, you won't get that job, or there's a promotion going. Why don't we go out for dinner? And if it borders on sexual harassment or coercion, then of course down the track it could
Problematic for
be
sure.
very problematic.
Very quickly, what about lying on your job application? This could be trouble. What about just like a teeny-weeny white lie, like I won 2 Walkley Awards for journalism?
Yeah, well,
Like a
good
small
question.
lie.
And so many people do it, but the courts are getting so much more serious. 2018, Hertz employed a chap called Tam. Tam said he had done that job for more than 5 years. It found out that he'd only done it for less than 12 months. And they found a whole bunch of strange behaviour. They Google searched this person, and he had about 5 previous claims against other employers. And, and he got dismissed because of that incorrect information, and the Commission found it was warranted that we should not lie on resumes.
Sure, and stealing, obviously, that goes without saying.
Yeah, well, that's right. A major theft, obviously,
Yeah.
instant dismissal, but even small things.
Like stationery cupboard items.
Stationery. It's costing Australia $1.5 billion on these small items, and certainly people think it's just a pen, it's just a staple, it's just this, but employers are sick and tired of it, and it's usually in a workplace policy, and it's so important that people don't steal, because 2 or 3 of those minor thefts can get people fired.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Read the fine print. Thank you.
To sum it all up, employers have to give people a fair go,
Yes.
and employees have to do the right thing and follow the rules.
Good stuff, and I swear I'll bring those post-it notes back.